Hello and welcome to session 10. That's right, double digits of Masks, a New Generation. This is part of the Gauntlet Quarterly. This is our third month that we're just entering into, and we have 3 returning players. One of them having skipped a month, but coming back strong, and a player who is returning but not from this game, and then a fresh new character. So it is excitement all around. We are, of course, playing Masks New Generation, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse teen superhero game. This session, if you're watching at home, which I don't know where else you'd be watching, but maybe you're on the road, is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts, which is an online gaming community. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. We have a blog. We've got a zine. We've got podcasts. It is a large and wide-reaching gaming community that you can check out. We have almost 200 games on the calendar this month, and we will hit that 200 mark soon. Before I get rolling and sort of talking about where our characters are at, the people that are set up and so on, I want to talk about our tone and our safety tools. So far in the previous sort of 9 sessions, we've established very much, I would say, a middle tone. We haven't gone gonzo humor. We haven't gone, light. But at the same time, we haven't gone grimdark at all. We've had some serious tragedies, but we've had some heroics, and it's been tough. The group has taken a pounding in the course of these 2 months, where circumstances have gotten out of their control. They've had some notable victories, but they've also lost members of their team, and they've lost people that are dear to them, and they've also rescued some. So I would say that, and certainly people who played before can kind of correct me or refine it, I would say that we're running that middle path of things. I would say like the animated Young Justice is sort of the touchstone for that. We are in Gauntlet City, part of Gauntlet City Comics, so there are some features that have come back in the course of this. We are using the X card as our safety tool. That is the most basic safety tool we have. Again, I've played with everyone here, so I know you can mark it this way or in the sidebar, or however you wish to do that. If you want to X card something for subject matter, for objectionability, or even for tone, that is a legitimate reason to do that. We will edit past that. I may ask you for a frame on what that is, just so I'm making sure that we're getting where we need to. If, and this is something Rich taught me, if the first time something pops up, you're like, I'm okay with that, and then later on you aren't, it is legit to X card it later. So that is all on the table. Again, we're all relative strangers to one another, so having these tools available to us when we're playing online with people we've only played with a few times makes sense. So our group has primarily focused around Sarah Sparks. Sarah Sparks being the legacy character who has been the leader in the first 2 months, who suffered some real crises of, I don't know if I want to say, not necessarily judgment, but had some really severe trials in this last thing. How would you characterize that, Stephen?
Yeah, I'd say that the last month was rough for her leadership, in that there was a teammate who was party and her competence, and things just did not go well. We had some bad rolling, and some bad situations came up.
And in the end, Sarah's, although it's not well known, the PCs of course know that Sarah's father died in that last fight and that last session. So that is a big thing sort of hanging over her right now. So that's kind of the situation. In the first month, we focused on the high school that everyone attends, which is the Desmond Zola Magnet School. That's been mentioned in the second month. We can decide how much we want to lean into that. Generally, that's my expectation, is that'll be the focus, is characters will be attending or there'll be some connection on that, but we can certainly reshape that as we need to, in terms of making the characters and so on. Are there any questions before I kind of let everyone loose on this? What I definitely want to do before I get too much further, let the questions be asked, and then the people who are bringing back returning characters, I want to have them give just a elevator pitch, so the people who are making up characters will know kind of what the bounds are. So, any questions before I get rolling on that part? Okay. In that case, let's start with the strangest of our group now. Zahn, why don't you give us the 30-second pitch on our nomad?
All right. Zahn, formerly known as Zach, was a kid who's been saved by being dragged into other dimensions when he was younger, and he traveled them a lot with her a companion named Jane. Which one's the real hero of the two? She was a do-gooder, always wanting to help people, and Zahn would just tag it along because it was fun, and trouble seems to follow her, and he had fun dealing with that. Now he is traveling amongst dimensions, has made him sick, and he needs to rest in his home dimension, which is our world. And he cannot leave, and he is quite frustrated by that. Also hates the side of that normal gravity he has.
Yes, very much doesn't like to be bound to the ground. So that gives us a sense of that. And then sort of on the other side of the coin, Sarah, give us the 30-second pitch of who you are as the legacy.
All right. Sarah Sparks, very athletic, gadget-oriented, smart teenager. Her grandfather was a Captain America type called Flag Waver. He had a son who is still active, called one called American Star, and the other son became a dark vigilante called Night Terror. And Sarah idolizes her grandfather and Uncle Ted. Her father, not so much. Her father just got killed. And I got to move at the end of the last session, so I think I'm going to inherit his sanctuary. As an advance.
That's a clever shift there. Very smart. And one of the things that we is established in the fiction, just so everybody knows, is people don't know that Sarah Sparks is part of that legacy. That's not a public knowledge. They know that Sarah Sparks is a superhero, but they don't have a knowledge of that connection. That's one of the things that Stephen established earlier. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, although there has been some speculation, I think.
Yeah.
I think as she makes a name for herself, people are starting to think, oh, yeah, she's got something to do with that legacy.
Yeah, and certainly established that some supers did have a sense of that. So, okay. So that gives us that. Now, with that in mind, I want Jim, I want you to tell us what your character is like, because you are bringing in a character from one of the newest of the playbooks. So tell us about this.
I am bringing in a character named whose Aeon code name is Agent Harvester. She's kind of called like her superhero name is Harvester. Her call sign essentially for Aeon is Harvester. Advika Kulkarni, she's a young woman of South Asian descent who, if you think an Indian Olympic gymnast, like a woman Olympic gymnast, like 16 years old, with the arms from Spider-Man's spider armor suit grafted onto her back.
Ooh.
That's basically what she's got going on. So I am using the Soldier playbook, which I just find really interesting because it's going to create it's an instant triangle between me, the team, and Aeon that I'm, also have loyalty to and am taking orders from. The interesting and unique mechanical thing that the soldier playbook does is actually gives me an additional stat. And that stat is called soldier. And it can be pinged by anybody else. It can be raised and lowered. It can be, when you raise one stat, lower another. There are moves that trigger off a soldier, but mainly what I can use soldier for is I can leverage my connection to Aeon to do stuff that I would normally to have a couple of unique moves. But whenever I use that soldier stat, I'm required to give influence to Aeon. Like they just get it if I use that soldier stat. And there's no way that the only way I can never reject it. So like if it gets taken away through circumstances in the game, if something happens, like if they leverage it and it goes away, then I don't have it anymore. But the only way for me to get rid of it is to actually take that advance that says you get rid of somebody's influence.
Okay. When you say that grafted does that mean that she very visibly has these robotic parts attached? Can she not assume a normal identity?
We actually had a scene in the last game where in order to do a gym class, I had a friend had like the arms can fold up like tight on my back, but like I had to get like bound in order to like classic Angel style, right?
Right.
Like
okay.
Angel from the 60s. So it's that kind of thing. She was her father was a SETI enthusiast, like an amateur, like set his computer to help try and contact extraterrestrials. And for some reason, his signal was the one that got picked up by some aliens. And her entire family got abducted. They got taken up, very kind of X-Files style. And she got experimented on. And they were in the middle of kind of altering her surgically with this alien kind of, biotechnology, kind of mechanical biotechnology, when Aeon basically busted in and saved her and kept her from getting taken out of orbit. So she has these alien symbiote mechanical, techno-mechanical, organic arms that she can work like they're her arms, but they also sometimes act independently. And it's like, we can do fun stuff with just how much agency she has and what the arms can do and stuff like that. So, but that's
I just wanted to know in terms of thinking about the ID in terms of school and things like that. Since definitely we have if we go with the school thing that the group has already been with, does have metahumans there, so that's a thing to consider. But that gives me some framework for that. Now I know, Chris, that you had like since your first character passed on to the great beyond at the end of the first arc, that you've had a strong sense of what you're going to be playing. Can you give us just a 30-second pitch before we kind of dig deep into the character creation process?
Sure. This is the character I'm playing is the previous character's little sister. She has come back in time to attempt to warn everybody that the Imperionics are going to make another play, and the play has something else to do with Will. I don't know how she's going to react to finding out that Will is Will is dead in this particular time. So that may be awkward, or maybe that may turn out to be a huge twist, because I did tease that at the end of the January session.
And to give everybody the fill in on this, his character from the first arc was Overclock, who had time powers, and the sort of big threat throughout that were essentially villains that were coming back from the future to train their past selves to make them better villains. And there's a character involved with that that's not dealt with yet. But there was a lot of temporal shenanigans throughout that eventually resulted in a time rift that Overclock had to essentially sacrifice himself to stop. In the second arc, we found out that the sort of time force that was doing this was called the Imperionics. That has an adversary, another dimensional adversary called the Pteronics, right? that is actually Zahn's patron. So we've had a number of temporal shenanigans. We also had a character in the last thing who was from the past, who came to the future to try and stop his future self from turning awful, and eventually they sort of half killed, half didn't kill his future self. So there's been a lot of temporal stuff in the air, as it were. So just to give you a sense of how that's rolling out. So I'll let you keep rolling on that, Michael. I heard that you've chosen a playbook as well, right?
I have. I'm
Okay.
going to be the beacon, and I just think that this is all so cool.
Awesome. Well, what I'm going to do is I want to let Chris, Michael, and anybody else who wants to do tuning, I want to give you, like, if I say about like 10 minutes, does that seem like a reasonable amount of time to put that together? And if there's anything we don't get to, we can get that on the fly. And once we're done with that, we will walk through the backstory questions, and we'll also do the when our team first met and the relationships and all of that stuff. Does that seem reasonable?
Sure. So you're just hoping we can get like abilities, moves, backstory questions.
Yeah,
Concepts
get
kinda
the
nailed out.
basics. And get a sense of who you're going to be. If you don't pick all your moves, if you want to pick the other ones on the fly, I'm cool with that. So
There was just one thing that kind of my idea was hinging upon, because I kind
Sure.
of wanted to see what everybody's like abilities and powers and like cool thing was, because I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. The two abilities, like, or powers, so to speak, for the beacon that I was considering was either going to be martial arts or phasing. So
I would suggest the latter, given that we already have two martial artists.
I think that was kind of the conclusion I was coming to with all of the athletic gadget wielders. I was like, maybe I should go in a slightly different direction. Okay.
Is that
perfect.
okay?
Yeah, sounds
Okay.
great.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you. And if you have any questions, hit me up. I'm going to sit here as I do awkwardly when the character creation sessions go on.
I will turn off my camera and hide my shame.
Okay.
Well, actually, I do have a bit of not a concern, but a question.
Sure.
So for the Nomad, it's important that I know how much influence I have given out. Now, I had given one to collateral damage, which is no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
So, do I still have that influence given out, or can I
Yes.
retract it? Oh,
No, I would consider it still given out because it does play into that countdown clock for you. So I think that's important.
okay. So I had a second question, which is now a bit less important. I'll still ask it.
Okay.
We didn't really do end of last session. You just gave a potential, but at the end of the session, I can retract one of my influence that I have given on someone. Can I still do that?
Yes, absolutely. And if you want to take it back from collateral damage, if you want to just clear the board that way, that's fine.
Well, now I'm not sure what I want to do.
Yeah.
If the influence on collateral damage will have vanished, I will have removed one of Sarah's Spark and begin it new. But now
Okay.
I just don't know.
That seems cool to me.
Yeah, I actually have a question about the sanctuary.
Sure.
So I was thinking of taking an aid or assistant, teleportal, and a powerful computer for the advantages.
Okay.
And having the aid just be a holographic projection from the computer, so basically an intelligent AI.
That seems reasonable. Yeah.
But then I need 2 downsides.
Ooh,
So
okay.
I was going to go with draws dangerous attention, and I was thinking location known to many, but I'm not quite sure, because if the access is via teleportal, whether that's actually a disadvantage you'll be able to use.
Yeah, no, if it's known to many, then it's more a question of it being, a target of outside attack in a more brutal way. So that might not be the greatest thing.
Yeah, and difficult to access, but that doesn't work with the teleportal. So probably that these easily damaged or tampered with, since they can't take it tied intricately to your doom.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Especially if it had been left abandoned for a year and a half, 2 years while your father was in prison. Um, it's a gear that may have decayed. Um, So we've kind of done a little bit of the sort of introduction on a few people. But what I'd like to do is more formally walk through some of the backstory questions. And I actually want to start here with Jim. Jim, we got a good sense of your character, I think. Let's walk through the backstory questions that you have as a soldier.
All right. My first question is, what tragedy or disaster led to you gaining your abilities? And what I have typed out here is, my dad was a SETI hobbyist who made contact with aliens who landed and abducted my entire family. I was rescued by Aeon before I could be taken out of Earth orbit.
Okay. Go ahead and walk through all those questions.
Sure. What inspired you to officially join Aeon? They helped me adjust to the mechanical limbs that the aliens had grafted onto me, and the scientist who helped do that basically kind of like informally adopted me. Essentially, I was orphaned by that experience and kind of raised within an Aeon facility to learn how to use those arms, and kind of joined just almost like because that's where I grew up. What does Aeon do for the world that no one else can? And with the understanding that I will accept that this is entirely my subjective opinion about what Aeon can do for the world that no one else can. But my answer to that is, Aeon commands respect from other worlds in a way that no state or individual, even super team, possibly can. Aeon has access to technology and contacts within extraterrestrial civilizations and stuff like this that basically make them the only force that will give pause to some of the aliens that might otherwise just like run roughshod over Earth.
Absolutely. And the other ones?
Who outside of Aeon and the team connects you to the civilian world? My time volunteering at the Gauntlet City Veterans Hospital is what I have listed here. I had a different thing in the last game. It didn't come up at all, and it wasn't terribly satisfying, so I changed it for this. And is that something you can reasonably work with? Is that
we will see.
Or is there a facility that might work better for me to volunteer at that's already kind of in your campaign?
I don't think we have anything quite like that established, except the only organization I can think of that we've kind of mentioned is essentially a Feats Not Fists, which is an organization dedicated to essentially helping, people with superpowers integrate and things like that. It's actually Sarah Sparks' family connects into that one.
I think that seems along the lines of that. I mean, if it's cool to have me engaged in that as a volunteer, then yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me talk a little bit about why Aeon has asked you to infiltrate this team.
Sorry, and I have one last question,
Yeah.
which is, why do you care about the team? And the answer is, I have been ordered to care about the team.
And that is what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
So a senior Aeon scientist by the name of Dr. Nicholas Allset went rogue and apparently was involved in all kinds of chronal activities and all kinds of issues. And Aeon still doesn't know exactly how much damage he did and how much, I mean, they're not going to say this to you, but how far that corruption extends within the organization here. They know that all kinds of temporal and dimensional things have gone on. And in particular, this team, which calls itself the team, that's a matter of much discussion, has been at the heart of that. That several of their members had been involved in these temporal shenanigans. They fought against people involved with temporal things. There's still this figure out there known as Syndic, who clearly has time powers and is bringing people back from the future. And they are very nervous about that. They're not convinced that this team, I mean, the amount of stuff that they've been involved with, there may be something going on behind the scenes. Maybe they're aware of, maybe they aren't, but they need to get a handle on it to protect this time stream. Does that seem reasonable?
Oh yeah, eminently.
Okay.
That is absolutely the kind of mission that they would send me on. Absolutely.
With that in the frame, as it were, I'm going to come to you, Chris. I'm going to work my way from right to left across here on the character sheet. So tell me about your backstory questions, and give us the physical description of your character. What does she look like, and what are we seeing?
Okay. Morgan continues to be a horrible frustration for Will. She remains way more goth than him,
right?
As she became a teenager. So she has just long black hair that typically is tied back. She's very pale. She wears outfits that are almost always look like they're out of some sort of quasi-futuristic tactical catalog.
Okay.
And her casual wear is really odd. Like, it looks like there's a definite like fashion style to it, but it seems to be something that nobody's even looked at or thought of yet. It's weirdly colorful for a goth. Like, it shouldn't work, but for some reason it seems to with her, and it's weird. So her casual clothing is like bright colors, but in still some way gothy. Like, maybe it's frilly shirts, but they're not just white or black. It's like they might be like a soft lavender, maybe a pastel or two, but it seems to work for her.
How old is she? As I recall, your sister was what, 12 or 13?
Yes, and I think that's going to be one of the off-kilter things. She's when she comes back, I think she's going to be 15 or 16. She's not really sure. And the way she came back was throw some monkey wrenches into this as well, because she remembers absorbing a huge wave of temporal energy and trying to redirect it, because that's her power. And something went horribly wrong with that, and it ended up with her back here.
Okay. So she's only a couple of years older than herself that is present in this timeline.
Right.
Okay. So let's go through your backstory questions.
Okay. Let's see. The first one is, how did you travel from the future to the present day? I walked through that a little bit. She absorbed a huge wave of temporal energy from some villain's attack, and trying to redirect it or expel it basically shot her back in time. Also may have done something to her age. She's not really sure. And her memories are completely messed up, so that they're no help. What keeps her from returning to the future? She doesn't really have a ready source of temporal energy to absorb, and she's still not exactly sure how the heck she did the time travel part, because the explosion fragmented her memories. Why are her memories of the future scrambled? Absorbing the extreme amount of temporal energy left her memories just a mess. The most important part of her future that she wants to avert is she knows that the Imperionics is coming back, and it has something to do with her elder brother. She just can't remember exactly what it had to do with him. And she knows that when the Imperionics came, it was like an overwhelming just tsunami of invasion. Like it just overflowed everything. But she doesn't remember exactly how they actually did that. But she remembers it being just a vast, overwhelming show of force, and she just remembers it being terrible. This sort of vague flashes of horror and terror and death, and she doesn't know what exactly they did beyond that. The last question I was trying to sort out a little bit, and I might have to ask some other folks if they would be comfortable with Morgan's answer to this. Why must you join this team specifically to achieve your goals. And I think, and this might be for Stephen. I think she has in her head something about Sarah maybe having some connection that might help with the Will situation, but she doesn't know what, because her memories about exactly how Will was involved in it are still fragmented and messed up.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to me she would come to this team because of my connection with Will. And yeah.
Let me ask you this then, with that in mind. Your parents, in this timeline, like, very much spoke out against Sarah and the team, and have been, dramatically anti-superhero, and so on. And in fact, Morgan was withdrawn from the magnet school, and they've probably moved since then. So where and how are you living?
That was a good question.
Are you going to the Robo foster home?
I'm not sure she would try to make contact with any sort of like entity, because she's not sure who she can trust or exactly what's going on. So I think maybe she got in touch with an estranged uncle, let's say.
Okay.
That basically maybe the uncle and the family don't get along because the uncle is involved in maybe some sort of mutant advocacy group, and he really disagreed with their public position on Sarah and Will's involvement in the team and all of that.
Okay.
So he and when she showed up with this sort of weird explanation, and obviously being like several years older, I think he, more than any other family member, she thought was going to be able to take that in stride.
Okay.
So he's providing her with a space. I think it's let's make it William.
Like, you're going to get me confused if you do William. I'm going to get confused.
I'm going to mess it up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to mess it up. You not. I am.
Okay. How about let's see. How about Gregory?
Gregory. Okay.
Do we have anybody else named Gregory?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, we have my dead father.
Ooh. Okay. Maybe not that then.
Yeah.
Okay. How about Victor?
Okay, that we can do. Now, let me ask you this: you've got a strange move, like your strange move. Tell us about this connecting the dots move. What do we need to know about it?
Okay, the connecting the dots is kind of like the Harbinger signature. Basically, it's her putting together her memories of what her future was and how these things are supposed to work. And whenever she pushes herself to try and remember the version of someone that still exists from her future, she can mark a condition and roll plus memories, which starts out at -1 and raises by +1 for each one of those boxes she's able to fill in. If she gets a hit, she gets to connect who they are now to who they are in the future, and choose a role that they are set to fulfill in your future.
Okay.
And then you, as the GM, get to tell me about that future self.
I'm going to, because we got just 4 sessions, I want you to start with one of those filled in and start your memories at 0. We'll come back to what that means. But we're going to want you to have that in mind, as if that revelation has already occurred. Does that seem cool?
I think that seems cool.
Okay. Well, I should have started your Doom track at 8 in the other game, so you could have just doomed right out. But so we're working on that. Okay.
Hey, I doomed out pretty well anyway. It worked out.
You doomed out hard. All right. So I'm going to move on. We're going to come back on the relationship and the how we first met questions in a bit. Zahn, let's come back to you. We've gotten a little bit of the backstory. You've given us a little bit of the introduction. Before we get to your backstory questions to go through, and you've hit a little bit on this. I want to ask you. Well, we're going to assume some time has passed between the last game and this one. So a number of weeks. Let's say we were kind of in winter time. Let's say we're getting in towards spring right now in the game time. What made Zahn come back? Because Zahn ran away at the end of that last arc. What drew Zahn back here?
I think it's the promise that he made to Terranix in exchange for his help during the last the fight that we had. Probably. Well, I was going to tie this into when the team came together, but probably just wrecking a Vogue dimensional battle.
Yeah.
Maybe we have some stragglers, and I was tasked with dealing with them.
Okay, yeah. Well, we'll tie that in. We'll frame that in when we do the team questions. I think that's a really good idea. And is there anything from your backstory that you think is important for everybody to know at the table?
I think my pitch was basically answering these questions.
Okay, yeah. Let me think what else I want to, and your powers, just for everybody so they know kind of what your powers are like.
My powers are a technological gadget I picked up on other dimensions. One allows me to basically float around or turn gravity upside down. We kind of made it like a gravitational field around me. I picked up people with it. And also I have a ultra-variable processor, so like a computer allowing me to do extremely difficult calculations in little time.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. That gives us a framework. I look forward to seeing how Zahn evolves in the course of this. Michael, if I came to you, would you be ready to answer those questions, or do you want me to skip over you, do Sarah, and then return back?
We can touch on some of mine for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us about your character. I'm super excited.
Well, he is too.
Yeah.
I'm playing Carter Strambush, who is currently codenamed Shadow Boy, which he's not very happy with. he's hoping to change that soon. But yeah, he has phasing powers, and he's pretty good at stealth and camouflage.
Okay. And what does Shadow Boy look like?
Sure. So the way I'm sort of seeing him is a slightly shorter kid, a little bit what's the word? Petite. I think he has like pale white skin, sort of like big floppy brown hair, and yeah, that's kind of a little gangly. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Let's what does your costume look like now? I know you're still workshopping it, but what does it look like right this second?
Right now, it's mostly just a collection of dark clothing.
Okay.
I think that his current disguise involves like a turtleneck that he kind of pulls up over the lower half of his face, which is not perfect. So that's also something he's hoping to change in the future. But yeah.
All right. Let's go through your backstory questions.
Sure. So my first question is, how did you gain your skills? So some nasty bullies were out for my blood in school. I think I was picked on for being shorter, being smaller, and I learned to use my powers to hide from them on my way back and forth from school to home and things like that.
I like that. That seems cool. Go on.
Next question is, when did you first put on your costume? So those same bullies, they were targeting another kid at school. I decided to try and stop them. But I knew that if they saw my face, that I probably would kind of earn some trouble for that. So I had to disguise myself in order to stand up to them and to try to intimidate them.
Okay.
And then, who outside of the team thinks that you shouldn't be a superhero?
Ooh.
So I told my guidance counselor about the situation with these bullies, and they told me that I should kind of leave that problem to the adults and, tell that if I saw them picking on somebody, I should just talk to an adult about it. If they knew I was a superhero, they would probably tell me the same thing about that as well.
Awesome. Do we have a name for that guidance counselor?
I should probably name them, yes.
Naming is the bane of the team.
Indeed. Well, how about Dr. Zaviana?
Zeviana?
Yeah, let's do that. I spelled it out in the chat there.
Zeviana.
Well.
Okay. I like that. And then why do you try to be a hero?
Well, superheroes are just so cool, in my opinion. They're always out there volunteering and saving the world, and I just want to help people and protect them from villains and bullies too.
I like that. And then why do you care about the team?
Well, these folks are the real deal. Some of them are from different worlds, different times even, they're just really awesome. And they're still all just kids like me. And that kind of makes me think I could maybe make a difference too.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. We'll come back to you on relationship and other things in a sec.
Sounds good.
Sarah, I have saved you for last because I want you to give us a sense of where Sarah is at emotionally right now and what has happened in the last few weeks. I'm going to keep gesturing until I hit the camera. That's what's going to happen.
Okay. Yeah. Sarah is actually, I think, in a pretty good place emotionally, even though her father died, they did have the big heroic moment. They did save the day at the last minute, and she sort of proved herself as the leader of the team. So she's feeling pretty good about leading a new incarnation of the team.
All right. And tell us about this sanctuary.
Yeah. After he died, and she eventually tracked down the access points. I mean, apparently he's got teleportal access points all over the city, which he can. So that's how he gets around so quickly. At least one of the ways. So its exact location. She's only able to get to it from these various rooftops and things where he's set up the access points. I mean, inside the sanctuary, there's a very powerful computer which monitors things that are going on in the city, and there is a sentient AI which has a holographic form. It's called Rosalind, which sort of gives advice and analyzes problems. It's basically Jarvis.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. It's classic between miniseries, especially with team reshuffles, that your costume has changed just a little. There's some detail that's been added or changed or something. What has changed about your costume in this new, just a month down the line? colors? Is it accessorized? Is it new goggles? Is it what kind of thing?
It's a good question. I'm trying to come up with a good
Yeah,
good
yeah.
answer. Yeah, I think she's got a big white star on her chest now, like her uncle has on his costume.
Okay. Finally feel up to the
Yeah.
to that. Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to tell us before I move on?
No.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift a little bit of the when our team came together. Some of you I'm going to give you the established ones, but for Zahn and Sarah in particular, I want to give you modified ones. I'm going to throw at you right now. And I'm going to roll back to Zahn here. So Tyranix told you to come back here, right? Because this is the fallout from his battle. He did that stuff for you in that fight. And you came back, and the sort of when the team first came together, that first big fight, when you came back, what was the adversary of the fight? What did you fight? What was the thing that was the danger?
I think it was something like eight-dimensional being that slipped through cracks of Val and needs to take possession of a body in order to interact with this world. So they're basically like not body snatchers, but possession spirit things. Only sci-fi.
Okay, so an eighth dimensional, essentially, it could extend itself into the minds of people, take over them, and maybe it's contagious. Having to figure out how you detract them, how you detect them, how you stop their powers, all of that kind of classic stuff. That sounds good. Sarah, let me ask you then, with that in mind. When this fight went on, when Zahn came back, told you about this danger, and you got people together, what was the thing in that fight or in that moment that really helped renew your confidence as a leader?
I think it's the. I mean, I think it. I mean, I came up with a plan, and I shouted out some orders, and everybody followed them. I'd worked out a gadget that could disrupt their connection. To take some hits so that they could draw as many of them in as possible.
Nice. And you'd come from a rough patch where people didn't listen to you, but the engine worked, and right. You were successful. Shadow Boy, what was the thing that you saw? I think your question here. I'm going to check and make sure this is. I'll come back up to the top. It seemed like this was the start of something bigger. What did you see? What were the signs that told you that this was the start of something bigger?
And can you clarify for me exactly which event we're
this
considering?
Fight, when you were kind of fell in with the group, met up with the group, recruited to join this group when they were fighting this essentially eighth dimensional mind controlling mimetic virus that was taking over people and giving them powers and controlling them.
Right. And just the start of something bigger. So what are the signs? Wow. Well, I mean, I think that Shadow Boy in his exuberance may, just claim that, oh, this is obviously there's more out there. This is just the start. Just from pure excitement. But as far as like the signs,
Were there other signs about more intrusions, more dimensional intrusions, or rifts or schisms or things?
Yeah, maybe like during my phasing, I've started to see like little crackles of interdimensional static.
Oh,
in
yeah.
that brief moment when I travel through walls or whatnot.
Ah, that's great. Nice tie-in. Yeah, I like that very much. So when you followed orders and joined up with the team and fell in on this particular fight, your thing is your victory support secured an important resource for Aeon. What was it?
Oh, it's a sample of the virus.
Okay.
Which we have in the lab now, and we can hopefully isolate the part of it that gives people superpowers.
Oh yeah, that doesn't seem like a dangerous thing at all.
The bad part, the bad mind control part, from the part that gives people powers, and
that's
but
awesome.
we've got a sample of the virus. It's completely safe. It's in a totally isolated in a xenobiological containment unit. Nothing can possibly go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong. Absolutely.
We have top men working on it.
Top men. Which brings us to Torrent. Torrent, you averted a disaster from the Futures History books. So what was the nature of this disaster in particular? What effect did you hope that this would have on the timeline? You're muted.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I think I think there was some sort of AI experiment going on, and I'd like to say it was probably being done by someone like Eon, because they seem like the type that would do that. And the AI went rogue, and we managed to stop it. And she thought that might have had something to do with the Imperionics' time incursions, but she's still not sure what. But she felt like there was something there.
I like it. So that concern, I like that. That will certainly come to pass. Then let's do that same order, and let's do the relationship questions, and get through those. Again, you may have an idea for who you want to have for that relationship question, or you may want to throw that out for people. So let's get those relationship questions, and then we'll also deal out the influence at that point as well. So Sarah, let's come to your relationship questions.
Okay, so I once got caught doing something that shames my legacy with, let's see, I think I did something with Torrent. I helped her retrieve some memento that belongs to her brother from the family. So I was trying to do it inconspicuously, but I wasn't quite successful.
The family that already hates and blames you for the loss of their son saw you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does
that work for you, Torrent?
I think so. I think she had asked. I think maybe she had asked for maybe one one of Will's old albums or something like that.
Excellent. And then what's your other relationship question?
I trust someone, and I told them an important secret of my legacy. So, I mean, I think for some reason, I trust Harvester, and I told Terror Sanctuary.
Does that work for you, Harvester?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Awesome. And it makes sense that this somewhat professional super would be the one you would trust. And then you give influence to all your teammates, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So all of you have influence over Sarah. You can mark that down. Zahn, what are your relationship questions?
Well, I still think Sarah Spark is well boring.
Yes.
I mean, I came back with a super incredible problem, and she just barked orders. She really didn't change.
Okay.
So I know Blank knows plenty that I don't about the world, the people, and how to deal with them. I shall throw their lead while I'm here. I think the most normal person here will be Shadow Boy. So I'll take their lead.
Okay.
For normal, mundane matters.
And air quotes normal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you don't give influence to anybody, right?
Nobody.
Nobody.
I don't care about you all.
You are an island unto yourself.
Yeah, now I already had influence on Zan from
right
from before, so I
because he gave me hot cocoa.
Yeah. Shadow Boy, what are your relationship questions?
So I think that someone is awesome, and I take every chance I get to hang out with them. I mean, everyone is awesome. How could I choose? So I'm looking at everybody and seeing. I'm almost thinking it's going to be Harvester because he's pretty badass. But
she, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I must
okay.
have misread the pronouns on the sheet there.
Oh, or is it he, him? You have a he, him up there. I'm sorry, Jim. Is it he or she? You're muted, so I assume you're just cursing.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize those were there. So
okay, all right. No, I just want to make sure. Yeah,
I'm a he, him. Harvester is a she, her, but presents as pretty androgynous with her gymnast build and military haircut and all this kind of stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
Cool. But she uses she, her. Okay. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, I definitely think Harvester is super cool. She's super serious in some ways.
And who do you have to prove yourself to?
I want to make sure that we have nice spread out relationships, but I think looking at these people, I'm looking at the person who has the highest superior label, which is going to be either Zan or Sarah. But I think that Sarah, I don't know who's more of the more straightforward superhero. But if I had to guess, I would think it would be Sarah.
Of the two.
So I think I have more to prove to it.
I am so not the textbook superhero.
Yeah. So I think I would say I feel like I have to prove something to her.
And then you give influence to 3 of your teammates.
Right, because I have 4 teammates.
Yeah. You choose. Who do you not give influence to?
I would have to say Torrent.
Okay.
Part of me is still not sure if she's like fully altruistic or if she's just trying to get back to her own time.
Oh,
She doesn't care about us old-timey people.
old-timey. Yeah, you're from 2 years ago. So
You only care about saving the future.
next year. All right. Torrent, what are your relationship questions?
Okay. Torrent's relationship questions are blank turns away from the hero's path according to your history books. You have to prevent that from happening.
Ooh.
It sounds like the one that's closest to that right now would probably be Zan.
Okay.
But I could also see that happening to maybe Harvester at some point. So I mean, either one of those would work if one of you folks has a particular idea for your character for that.
I think I'm not a good match for this. I'm already not really on the path of superheroes, and it will be like more dramatic if it was someone that seems to be on the right path.
Are you okay with that Harvester?
Oh yeah, because as a character, I'm gonna object to that with every fiber of my being. That can't possibly be right. So yeah.
And then the other question?
The other question is, you've always idolized someone, but it's too awkward to admit to them now that you've met them in real life. Keep it cool. Keep it cool. I think that would be awesome if it were the Beacon. Like at some point in the future, Shadow Boy is going to be fucking awesome. And it's she's now super awkward, which would explain why she doesn't have influence and is very standoffish when it comes to him.
That's nice. Nice tie-in there. And then everyone has influence over you.
Yes, absolutely everyone. People walking down the street, might have some sort of future role to play. So like she's literally worried about it all.
All right. So we're going to take about 7 minutes, okay, and take our break now. And when we come back, I'm going to throw you into the mix.
You're going to do my questions when we get back?
Did I not do them? Oh, geez. Look at me doing that, being dumb. Look at that. Yeah, it's because we've got 5 people now.
Yeah, you used to have 4. Totally
4.
Cool.
It just can't get it through my head.
Yep, totally get it.
Let's do those relationship questions for Harvester.
Real quick, blank is crucial to the long-term success of Aeon. I must protect them. That's Torrent.
Ooh, interesting.
Because they are from the future. Maybe. Or maybe an alternate dimension. But their knowledge could potentially be. But you know what? I have just been told they are crucial to the long-term success of Aeon and ordered to protect them.
Right.
Beats me. Blank isn't always thrilled with the way Aeon handles things. I've come to value their critiques, even if I don't agree with them. My hunch is that that's probably like the person who's actually been to outer space.
Okay.
Which is Zan. Does that make sense, Zan?
And then what is your influence?
My influence. Respect is earned, soldier. Tell 2 of your teammates what they did to earn your esteem and give them influence. Everyone else will have to match their efforts.
Okay.
And that is Sarah Sparks. Because I saw her act like a leader in that fight. And Shadow Boy.
Nice.
Because he just got in there and like he was actually at risk of being like seriously hurt, but went in there and did it anyways. So impressed me.
I like it. All right. Now, I don't think I've missed anyone this time. All right. So now we're going to take, since I like round numbers, we're going to take 10, come back at 25 after, and then we will get into it. So take that break. I hope it's something delicious, Michael.
It's going to be a surprise for me. My wife already ordered, so
Okay.
I'm sure it'll be delicious.
So, Michael, I'm going to put the question to you then first. This trio of teen supervillains.
Oh yes.
That you are pursuing. What is their shtick?
Oh man. Okay. 3 teen supervillains with a shtick. Oh, I love a good shtick. Oh man. Is there a sport that involves 3 players working together? The only thing I can think of is curling. But I don't know.
Bobsledding?
Yeah. Is there a 3-person hockey formation?
There's 3-on-3. A 3-person hockey formation would be like a power play.
Power play is such a great name. Yeah. Okay. And one of them has to be named Hat Trick, I'm sure.
Okay. Power play. One of them's named Hat Trick. They're trio of teen supervillains. They were previously trying to impress the supervillain Dame Canada, but she's turned to the good side. So that's a problem. So Hat Trick, Slapshot,
yes,
and Penalty.
Oh yes. We are killing Simon over there for sure.
Yeah. So that's the 3. That's a trio that you're pursuing right now. Chris, with that in mind, what's the theme of the dance that this is taking place at right now?
Oh my God, it has to be Frozen.
Okay, so the theme of the dance is Frozen. What's the decorations that are here?
Oh, I think there is there's like a small ice rink to allow some people to like skate dance. And there is an ice palace.
Oh yeah, like they've gone to, well, they like rented out the one of the stadiums that has they can clear the floor next to the ice rink, and they've got that going on. They've got a Zamboni out there, all of that. They haven't quite thought this through, so the dance is like really cold. It's like super cold. So all of the young women are trying to huddle with their scarves and so on. Jim? What is this team, the power play? What are they here for? What's their deal? Why are they at this dance?
Oh, because because we managed to score a moderately famous pop star.
Okay.
To sing like songs from Frozen for us.
Oh.
Yeah. Does Gorillas on Ice do dances? Yeah.
It's on ice, or we also have that Break 23. We probably got maybe a member, non-superhero version of the superhero boy band.
Great. Yeah, that's fantastic. Like he's DJing.
Okay.
I think that's fantastic. Yeah. Scratch the singer thing. Yeah, we've got a superhero boy band dude who's DJing and maybe gonna sing a couple of songs and stuff like that. And like a whole lot of parents paid a whole lot of money to get this dude here so that their daughters would all be happy.
Oh yeah. So this is a like a school private function, like an upper class school. We've got that in mind. Sarah, how did your team get in?
Well, we We just hacked the security system. I mean, I'm really good at bypassing alarms.
So
when we figured out where they were, we just got into the building ahead of them.
okay, but the dance is going on. Are you hiding in the wings, or what's are you in civvies? What's the deal on that?
No, I mean, I think we're in costume, and we've spotted the approach that we expect them to use.
Okay.
So we're waiting for them to get inside.
Absolutely. Zahn, what has gone wrong? You are muted.
Yeah. Geez, what could have gone wrong? Besides everything, yeah. I think we're not the only team of well, actually not the only superhero after power play.
Oh, what is your rival team has a name, right? They actually have a name.
Oh, we have a rival team?
Yeah, now we do. What is their name?
Oh, Nico, because they actually are good at naming something.
Yes, exactly. They actually have a name.
Yeah, but I'm not good at naming things.
Let me see. I can grab my list here. So they're simply called Nexus.
Nexus, all right.
They're like
that's cool. I'm envious of their name.
A elite. You have the sense that maybe their parents bought powers for them, kind of thing. They call them Nexus, and they've got they have a consultant. They heard that ad that was on the air about image manipulation for superheroes, and they've got them behind them. They got matching costumes, and they look sharp. And you've spotted them, like you're like, oh God, they're here. And you know that they're there, and you know that they are here to show you up. And so we begin, it's like the 8th remix of Let It Go, with the DJ running that through. And it has, by this point, that the parents are just tired of this whole thing. But it is going on when busting out from under the ice comes this explosion, and we see that team power play to come out there. You thought that there was a possibility they might go that way, and they've come busting out onto there. They've got essentially Tron style laser skates that they use, and equipment and gloves, and they are making a beeline for the lead singer, the bad boy of Break 23, who's doing the DJ. But they're also probably going to be grabbing, like they probably have some targets here for wealthy kids to kidnap. So when this breaks out, explodes out, let's start with you, Shadow Boy. What do you do? Where are you at, and what do you do?
Oh man.
Well, let me pause here for just a second. So we started with one team in the team pool at start of session, and then when you went into a fight, Sarah gives you 2 more because of her move. So we've got 3. Sarah, do you have influence over everybody in the team?
I do.
Okay, so that's another. So we got 4 team. I don't think you're off balance. I don't think anybody mistrusts the leader yet. And you know what? I'm going to say everybody has the same purpose in the fight, and it's to not look like idiots. So we're going to say there's 5 team in the team pool. So sorry about that, Michael. I apologize. What do you do?
Good to know I have as much team as I could humanly want. And I will point out that one of my moves allows me to spend 2 from the team pool to add 2 to their roll.
What?
So I can double up on team. But yes, oh man, it's one of our first real superhero fights together. We're really going to show Nexus how things are done. So I think that I had been hiding behind a strategic part of the stage, and I'm going to be able to phase through. And my directive that has been given to me by Sarah is to be a distraction. Maybe because that's all she trusts me to do. I'm not going to question it. So I want to sort of phase through. I think it'll come like right up from under the ice, sort of right in front of the DJ booth, and say, "All right, enough of that," in sort of like a fake deep voice.
Fake deep voice. So it sounds to me like you're defending.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. That you pop up in front, even as a Slapshot comes flying over at this lead singer, and you're going to defend. So go ahead and roll with Savior.
I shall do so. Oh yeah, baby, that's an 11.
That is an 11. So you keep them safe, and you get to add team to a team pool, take influence over this singer, or clear a condition.
I'm definitely going to take influence over someone you protect, because we have lots of team pool and I have no conditions. So Shadow Boy's out here making a name for himself.
Okay. So let me give you a name for this lead singer. We will call him. We'll call him Flicker.
Flicker thinks I'm cool. Oh my gosh.
He's got light powers. He does all kinds of strobe effects. Bad boy. So you can take influence over Flicker.
Got it.
So let's come to Torrent. I'm going to follow that same order. Now, mind you, I will follow that same order. But if you're like, oh, I really want to do this, you just tell me, and we'll. That's how I do initiative. You can switch up as you need to. But for the moment, Torrent. We see Shadow Boy leaps up in front, blocks Slapshot from coming in, and he has to kind of turn aside and do a spin with his laser skates. Got the other 2 who are out there, and you can see Nexus getting their costumes ready. They've got some transformation effects they have to activate, and it takes them a second to get set. So what do you do? If you're talking, I can't hear you.
Ah, my microphone was muted.
Yes, there
as
you go.
opposed to just my actual Google mute.
Double
Okay.
mute.
Apparently I was really serious about not being heard. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Torrent basically leaps out onto the ice, and she is going to absorb the kinetic force of the ice skates that Power Play are currently skating on out there.
Okay.
So there's 2 that are on that end where she is. Suddenly their skates don't want to move anymore, but maybe the rest of them do.
So that sounds like you're unleashing your powers essentially to try and change the environment.
I think so.
Okay, then let's have you roll with Freak.
That is a 7.
That is a 7. So now you can mark a condition, and you'll stop these 2 hat trick and penalty back here on the ice, so they can't get to the crowd. They'll have to adjust, or it'll be temporary or unstable.
Gosh, first session. Let's get into those conditions. I'll mark one. They're
what
stuck.
What are you going to mark?
Let's see. I think. I think. I think she's. I think she's afraid. Like we've got. This is going to be. She doesn't remember anything particular about this team, but she has some really bad feelings about Nexus.
Sounds good. So that's a -2 to directly engage a threat, and that's one you can clear when you run from something difficult. So yeah, you. It looks like Hat Trick and Penalty are kind of getting off the ice after they've done their show to get into the kids. There's of course kids are running now. Everybody, I mean, there's chaos, but you kind of stop them, and they have to adjust their gyros. They aren't able to get out into that crew. Harvester.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice that they've so two of them are just kind of like their skates have kind of mired up.
Yeah.
What's
essentially they're just about to get off the ice to get in, slide in amongst the crowd of the dancers and the kids. And suddenly they lost all of that inertia, all that momentum, and they had to kind of adjust and balance themselves up, and they're kind of stopped on the edge of that ice.
Well, all right. That means that there is movement in the girders and the ceiling of the yeah, and like you hear that kind of wee and like that scuttling noise of like metal over metal, and I drop down from the ceiling with my arms kind of like, sort of making like a, kind of pointed down under me, and I'm kind of curled up in a ball. And like, I just kind of lock them into like where they're kind of this like lattice of 4. And I'm just dropping, bam, just slamming right into Penalty.
Okay, let's have you roll with danger.
Well, I actually,
yeah. Let's hear it.
I am, where is it here? I am more than a shield. When I directly engage a threat by heading directly into danger without regard for my own safety, I roll with Savior instead of Danger.
Okay.
On this, my focused attack leaves someone in grave danger. The GM will tell me what it takes to keep them safe.
Oh, well, I really hope you fail then.
So this is my just throw myself right at, whatever's going on without regard for my own safety in any kind of way.
All right.
Did I miss the roll for your party?
It's just up a little bit. Brightly rested boar.
There it is. Got it. Thank you. 2d6. I'll use purple since no one's using purple.
Since Rich isn't playing.
There we go. I got an 8 plus my right now my Savior is at 3. So that's going to be an 11 on directly engage.
So tell me your picks, and then I'm going to ask you what that looks like.
Yeah. Create an opportunity for my allies. Impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition. And in this case, I want the opposition to be Nexus.
Okay. Yeah. So you impress Nexus. They're getting transformed when suddenly you come flying out. Smash down into there. You will knock into Penalty and kind of get a hold of him. And
I check him right into the boards.
Oh yeah. Check him into the boards. He does spin around, and he does like fires out this net. His penalty box essentially fires out this net to entangle you. So this is his villain move, but we're gonna have to take a powerful blow.
Sure. All right. So I got. That's going to be plus conditions marked. I've got none marked right now.
Look at that.
And this is where I want to roll low, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Or high. We'll also take high.
Well, you'll take high.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Well, and that's an 8, so I'm hitting in that 7 to 9 range there.
Okay, so you can do the lash out and provoke. You can give ground, or mark 2 conditions. Oh, embarrass yourself in front of Nexus here.
Is this a thing I can help with?
Not with the take a powerful blow, I don't think. Unless you want to. I think you can defend, right?
Oh, because adding would not be helpful.
And, and not really, because I hit an 8, so I would need 2 to get me to where I need to be. So, but that's you know what, that's a rules question I've always had.
What I always do is if someone has already rolled to take a powerful blow, I don't defend at that point is off the table.
Oh yeah, defend is, but could you aid the roll?
No, I've never because we have a separate move for that. I think. Yeah,
that seems to that's totally legitimate.
Yeah, that's the way I've handled it.
Totally fine with that. I'm gonna lash out verbally and provoke a teammate to fool. Well, no, I'll struggle past the pain and mark 2 conditions.
Okay, what are you going to mark?
I'm going to mark I'm going to mark insecure.
Okay.
And I am going to mark angry.
So what does that look like? What do we see happen? How do you react?
I hit him hard and slam into him, and I think I expected him just to be like that he was just a poser. You know, and that if I hit him that hard, he was going to go over, and the guy next to him was going to go like, "Oh, holy crap," and maybe even just surrender. And so I'm not as secure in that. And I think that yeah, and I'm angry that I impressed Nexus. But I'm just angry that they're here.
Oh yeah, they're awful.
I've just been fuming the whole time since I heard that they're going to be here to interfere with and now that I actually see them doing their like they weren't even ready for the fight.
Right. They're trying to get to we're in different places. They're trying to get in the central area so they can do their pose as they do their costume change.
That is that's ridiculous. We're in the middle of a fight and they're doing a pose off.
Absolutely. Yeah. Zahn, so it looks like Harvester's kind of tied up with penalty. Penalty isn't taken out. It looks like Hat Trick, who is nearby, is kind of getting themselves righted, and up Shadow Boy has blocked out Slapshot from getting to the DJ. But then you've got these Nexus goofs. What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, actually, I haven't paid really attention to what the other teams, member of the team did, because just after the pause, the pause thing that Nexus did, you just see Zahn right next to them, upside down, just geeking about the tech. How does this work? I never seen anything like that. I've seen a lot of things. How do it just annoying them?
So, what do you want to resolve with that? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't even know if there's a move for. I'm triggering a move or anything. Just being there.
Are you assessing something or just holding out? What do you imagine?
Oh, assess. That's great.
Yeah. Why don't you roll
I'm checking out. I've got an 11.
All right, so you get 2 questions off assess a situation.
Okay. Looking at Nexus, who here is the most vulnerable to me?
Their leader, and of course it's all bros, but the leader, Nexus Alpha, is the one who is kind of pushing towards the front there. And they're really close by the buffet right now.
The what?
The buffet.
Oh, the buffet.
The food, the punch bowl, all of that kind of thing.
Okay.
What's your next question?
What here's the greatest danger?
Probably the one that's actually the greatest danger is of the 3 members of Power Play. What here is in the greatest danger? Well, actually, what's in the greatest danger is you've got an enclosed space and you've got a couple hundred teenagers who are starting to run for the exits. So the problem is right now you're going to have a stampede. Some of the kids are going to rush out on the ice, are going to fall. As much as anything, it's the civilians harming themselves is probably the greatest danger.
Okay.
That seem fair?
Yep.
Okay. And you get a +1 forward acting on those answers. I'll let you remember that. Sarah Sparks.
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to take these people down quickly before Nexus has a chance to screw things up. So I am going to I'll directly engage Slapshot.
Okay, so leap up to where Shadow Boy has kind of gotten him distracted, and all right, tell me what that looks like.
She just dives down. She tucks her legs in, does this spinning fall, and then kicks out just as she gets down to his level, and her legs snap into his chest.
Awesome. Then let's have you roll.
So
and I assume you're pulling your punches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. A 9.
Of course, you can't impress when you do that, but that's okay.
Yes.
So on a 7 to 9, what do you want to have?
Yeah. I mean, we've got plenty of team. Is there anybody who wants to help me out with that move a little bit?
You've got Shadow Boy right there.
Yeah.
Shadow Boy's here.
So what would you do to help since you're right adjacent?
Yeah. This is Sarah we're talking about here. She's pretty awesome. I need to prove myself to her for sure. So this is my perfect opportunity to do that. So I think you're starting to get into a tussle with Slapshot, right? And
right.
I'm standing back, but then I see him pull out, his high stick move, which is totally illegal. And from behind, I kind of grab that stick as he's raising it up to strike you. And that gives you the perfect opportunity to really give him a good center of mass.
Perfect.
Shot.
So what do you want as your picks off of that?
Resist or avoid their blows. And
okay.
I'm going to let Shadow Boy take the stick from them.
Okay. So you will do that. Grab the stick away. You will resist. He goes to swing at you. But you see him kind of pull back, and his villain move, I always identify these, I apologize, is he lets loose with what feels like a wave of force. And he sends everything flying back, like the DJ stand, the DJ, everything that's around here goes flying backwards, like a slap shot sent you a good 20, 30 feet away. And you'll both land on your feet or phase through things, but he kind of clears the decks away from him, and he is still reeling from those punches. Then that brings us to Shadow Boy.
Well, he can try as much as he wants to send out his waves of force, but Shadow Boy can phase right through that. And now I've got his stick, so I think I'm about to give him a taste of his own medicine.
Are you going to high stick him?
I am going to high stick him right in the face.
Okay. So that sounds like you are directly engaging a threat.
Heck yes.
Let's have you roll.
Check me out, Sarah. I'm super cool. To directly engage, I will roll with danger.
With danger? Huh, let's see your danger. Oh.
I'm not especially dangerous.
Oh.
But I am especially earnest. And so that's an 8.
That is an 8, so that's good. You didn't fail on that one. So you need to pick one from the directly engage.
Absolutely. Wow. I think I have created an opportunity for my allies.
I think you hit him and send him flying back, and he will actually smack into Hat Trick and knock Hat Trick back because Slapshot is out. The only thing is that he clearly activates some kind of like a friction thing as he falls, like his skate stuff. And you will see everybody on the dance floor start to like are falling as that goes off. He does get a slap at you, so let's have you take a powerful blow since you didn't resist his blows.
That's for sure. Okay.
Now you want high. This is where you want high.
Now hold on. That is an 8, and I do not believe I have any conditions.
No. So
Right.
what do you want as your choices? Choice there.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna give some ground.
Okay.
This is not my arena.
So what does that look like?
Yeah, so
Are you affected by the friction thing, or do you phase accidentally? What do you think?
I think when I hit him, I like actually kind of close my eyes when I make contact, right? But I'm feeling super happy to the point where I think I kind of like even maybe like turn away from him, thinking I've like knocked him out, and I'm sort of celebrating a bit too quickly. And I think that friction sort of disrupts my phasing ability a little bit.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you kind of go out. Torrent, you see Hat Trick get knocked back by the slap shot being thrown. And you see when Hat Trick gets up, Hat Trick, there are 3 of them. So what do you do, Torrent? You also see that Harvester is engaged there. Looks a little pissed, a little more angry look on her face, her demeanor, fighting her penalty.
I think I'm going to unleash my powers.
Ooh.
And I'm going to take that energy that I basically sucked off earlier to shut down their skates.
Okay. Pull that inertia back. Okay.
And then I think it's going to basically hit the Hat Tricks right across the shins. Hard.
Okay.
As attempting to basically throw them off balance and basically knock them back down.
That sounds perfect.
Keep them out of the way from the people that are running.
Yeah, it'll push them back and keep them from being effective.
Now, would that be a defend, or am I doing as unleash the powers? What?
Well, that's up to you. Which way do you want to say that you're defending the people, or do you want to try and unleash your powers?
I think it's more like she's trying to keep them away from the people that are trying to run out the exits.
Especially since they've fallen down and they're really vulnerable right now. So yeah, let's go ahead and have you roll a savior.
Okay.
It's one of your better stats. Good call.
All right. Let's see if this works. That's a 10.
Look at you. Ooh, look at that. So what happens? What do we see on panel?
I think you see like Hat Trick and Penalty are standing, and they're starting now to turn towards the assembled crowd. And then all of a sudden, basically that sort of wave of force just sort of impacts them, and they are basically thrown, 20, 30 feet back, maybe back into the stands area.
Yeah, the stands. They go over into the stands.
Could they perchance be knocked into the penalty box?
Of course, absolutely.
Yes.
The buzzer goes off too when they're in there. We hear that.
And I think as my little move out of there, I think I'm going to clear my condition.
That's a smart call. Good roll over for that. We come back to you, Harvester. You're still engaged here with penalty.
Yeah, I think we've got the thing going on where we're kind of like wrapped up, and he's like grabbing the back of my shirt, like my uniform, trying to pull it over my head and stuff like this and everything. But I've got 4 extra arms.
Oh yeah.
So I just like 2 of the arms come over the back and like grab him back under the shoulders and just kind of hoist him off his feet, just like a foot. And I just lean in while the arms going over my arms are holding him and just start bam, 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 just like working his midriff like it's a heavy bag.
Ooh, holy cow. Let's have you seriously directly engage that threat.
Yeah. He's annoyed me. All right. Let's see what we got here. This is just danger, right? So I think this is just a straight up roll for me, I think. Yep, just a straight up roll. Let's see what we got here. That is a 4.
That is a 4.
Yeah.
So, to quote Rich Rogers, the good news is you get to mark potential.
Well, what Rich says is the good news is you get to mark experience, which we call potential in this game.
Okay, that's right.
but yeah, the good news is that I get to mark potential, and then hit me, brother.
And I think that when you go to do that to lift him up, you see this blur. And you see 2 of the Nexus team members come flying over and pull him out of your grasp. And like I've pulled him away from you. And one of them does this like, thanks for setting it up for us to spike it. Does that seem fair?
Well, no, but yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's entirely reasonable. That's what would have happened there. So.
Yeah, Zahn, you see Harvester kind of gets up to lift the guy, and then those 2 members of Nexus whoosh, shoot past and grab a penalty. Hat Trick is still down, but we also still got the problem with all of these kids who are now falling and knocking things around. And what do you want to do?
All right, I think I'm going to try to get Nexus out of our hair and help the kids at the same time.
Okay.
So probably Nexus Alpha wasn't implicated in that save.
He's drawing attention.
Yeah. I'm going over to him with some sandwiches from the buffet, and I'm like, hey. The team is basically like killing it right now. We got this cover, but if you really want to make an impression, those kids, they're needing help right now. You could work directly with the public.
Oh, it sounds to me like you're trying to provoke him.
Yep.
Okay.
And I get +1 from the SS situation. Yeah. Which is a good thing. 9.
So that's 9. I think that you kind of get up and you kind of fly and you like block his line of sight.
Can one of us spend a team here?
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell me how.
So you're. What exactly is happening with the sandwiches here?
He's trying to essentially draw Alpha off and get him to work with helping the civilians.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Yeah. I just holler. I holler at them. You got your guy, but it's not going to look good if people get hurt.
That seems fair. So team goes to 3, and you will see Alpha look around and you see him adjust some dials on his thing and begin to blur and start moving people off. Not in a great way. He is sort of doing like a push of them out of the friction area, but he is definitely does not have his eyes on the prize in terms of getting in your way. That seem fair?
Yeah.
Sarah, you kind of got knocked back. You see hat tricks in the penalty box, all three of them. And then a penalty just got grabbed by two members of Nexus, and they are hooting and hollering because they're going to take out a bad guy.
Yeah, I think it's. I think I'll charge at hat trick and try to take them out completely.
Okay. All right. So tell me what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm just running at them, and I smack my dazzle fists together as they get close to bright flash, so that they don't quite see me coming. They don't quite see me coming clearly, and then I'm just flying into them.
Are you pulling your
hitting
blows?
them hard and knocking them down? I'm pulling my punches, but
so you can't impress.
Right.
So you look workmanlike.
Yeah, and that is an 11.
That is an 11. So you get to pick two.
Yeah. So resist and avoid their blows, and create an opportunity for my allies.
Yeah, they're pinned in. They can't get out. Normally, they'd be able to kind of triple team. That's how they work. But you're so fast. You're in there that they can't get the space they need to be able to gang up on you. Seem fair?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Then let's swing back around. I think the other move that we will see is it's actually was 3 of hat trick, and now there's just 2 of hat trick. Then let's come back to Shadow Boy.
I think I have a moment of hesitation when I see Nexus getting ready to take out Slapshot. Like, I was the one who hit him first. I set him up, and I have to sort of calm myself down and say, you know what? They're here to stop a bully. They look like they can handle it. I guess I should go and help out, since it looks like hat trick is still not quite down.
Sarah's up there finishing off hat trick. They are finishing off penalty.
So I'll kind of slide along the ice a little bit awkwardly and catch up to Sarah and say, what can I do to help?
Just get up to the DJ stand and calm the crowd.
Ooh.
I'm kind of like holding my hockey stick, like ready to fight. It's like, yeah, okay. I guess I can do that. And I'll head over that way to try to, and I'll pick up an amp and sort of.
All right. So this sounds like a defend to kind of globally. If you can do this, you can get the crowd situation calmed. Does that seem fair?
Especially since they're kind of getting trampled and pushed and.
Yeah, and you got Alpha's assist on this and so on. So let's go ahead and have you roll Savior.
I will save everyone with snake eyes.
Yes. So I think that you will get over there to call that, essentially do that. And when you get over there, you kind of hit something, and you realize that when you knock Slapshot down, some of his equipment fell off, and you hit something, and there will be this woof, and the whole room is filled with this icy fog. Just absolutely. And people are screaming now. because you got the strobe effects of the thing, and now the room is just filled with like just like dry ice, icy fog in a woof.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that did not go well. The good news is you get to mark potential. Torrent, wow, that's not the greatest thing.
Whew. Okay, so is this sort of like just a spray, or did this stuff just materialize?
It's like as you see in the comic book panel, suddenly the whole room is filled with like a smoke cloud of.
Is this stuff spreading like it? What I'm thinking of is this stuff spreading explosively enough to where I think that Torrent could absorb the kinetic energy from it.
You could try to unleash your powers to reshape your environment.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If it just sort of materialized, there might not be much she could do. But if it's actually like a smoke bomb effect, then I think her powers would have a good angle to stop.
It was a whoosh. So yeah, let's have you roll freak.
All right. That is a 7.
That is a 7. Do you want to mark a condition to clear this smoke?
Yes.
What do you mark?
Now, I think she's going to mark. At this point, I think she's going to mark angry because she thought that this was handled, like everybody was sort of getting out, and then this mist stuff came up, so she's her temper's getting a little away from her.
What's the effect? What's the effect that the artist is drawn to show how you manipulate this mist?
I think what happens is as the mist is getting into her area, you see these sort of waves of, comic books just assign, this is negative energy, like this is negating force. So this is that sort of like weird inverse wavy line that sort of radiates from her, and the smoke just sort of like loses its energy and is just sort of settling.
Yeah,
so it's becoming like a floor mist.
Yeah, perfect. So let's go to Harvester. There's a moment where you see that mist start to come up and you're like, oh no. And then Torrent disperses it. And those two who had gotten a hold of Penalty, like they've lost control of him in the midst of that.
Oh, so he's in the open, or
yeah. The mist that was let out kind of distracted them. So like they're kind of righting themselves. Penalty hasn't quite gotten himself together. You have an opportunity.
Oh yeah, I think that then like I don't care about a slippery floor because the little claws at the end of my things can just chink 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 right into the ice, like, and I'm just gonna like nip across the ice, like I'm not standing. My arms are just like spidering me across the ice.
Oh yeah, you're terrified.
I'm just gonna like just snatch him up, and like I'm gonna snatch him up, and as I do, I say, he's under arrest by authority of Aeon, and I like actually pull a badge and I show it to them.
Ooh. And do you have a move for this?
I do. This is under my soldier thing. So when I invoke Aeon to civilians. When you invoke your authority over civilians, Gauntlet City personnel, or Aeon staff, roll plus soldier. On a hit, your words carry weight. On a 7 to 9, someone will push back against your instructions or orders sooner rather than later. On a miss, your attempts to control the situation create an opportunity for your enemies within Aeon to act against you.
Okay. And I'll say they definitely, even though they're superpowered, they count as civvies here because they're punks.
Oh yeah, no, they're twerps. So You know what? It's not a badge. I have a little circle on the front of my uniform that I can tap, and it goes wee, and like the Aeon symbol appears in the air, kind of slowly spinning in a circle, like a hologram, like
just
that.
a mist coming
Yes.
up.
Oh, yeah.
With that laser effect.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see how we do here. So my soldier's at 2 right now.
Yeah.
Wow, 4 and 2 gets me to 6. Anyone got a team to spend to back me up on my authority here?
Who's going to help and how?
I could. That mist effect, like, is adding like an extra layer of coolness to that badge. Like, maybe that helps. It adds an extra layer of detail.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So 2 team left in the team pool.
The other thing I'm going to very quickly take note of is my other power is enhanced senses, which is like I have like whatever Zeta Ray goggles from Aeon that let me see in a whole like all up and down the visual range, and like I could probably but it's I have plot vision basically.
Yes. So you can use you can always unleash your powers to do that. So you will grab Penalty and kind of pull him away. And so right now you have control of him.
Yep.
And these two kind of step back. But you will see Alpha, like he's getting civilians out, and he sees you marching with your authority, and he is definitely going to come over to get in your face in a bit. Like that is his next step in this proceedings. Zahn, you see Harvester has a penalty, but penalty is not out, and Sarah is dealing with the 2 of the 3 from Hat Trick. However, the civilians are still in chaos.
All right. I'll try to hurt Alpha's ego since he's turning away from aiding civilians, I'm going to do his job for him and better than he did.
Ooh, gonna defend?
Actually, I was thinking about to gather the civilian and take them out of the building. Use my ultra processor to calculate the optimal course and pace of people and direct them into the safest place possible.
Oh, so you're gonna unleash your powers?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm gonna have you roll with that.
I still have the +1 from the question, I think.
And I think we gave you the +1 on that last one. The +1.
Okay.
Because it only affects the next roll.
Oh, okay. So I'm still at 11.
Still 11. So describe to me what we see. How do you use the processor? What do we see you getting these civilians out of here?
I think I fly overhead, take a plan of the place, open the right doors to let people in, direct the person. You go over there, you keep to that other person, and just direct them to have a smooth exit of the place.
Yeah.
And finish by yelling, that's how you do it.
Yeah. Even as Alpha is turning to try and confront Harvester, you're getting them all out of there.
Yeah.
Sarah, Hat Trick still locked up with you. You're in the clinch there in the penalty box. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I want to finish taking them out, I guess.
Okay. Still straight directly engaging then, sounds like to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a 12.
That is a 12, so tell me what your 2 picks are.
Yeah, I think I am going to. I'll resist their blows, and I will take something. I will take something from them. I want to take their confidence away from them.
I think you will shake them, and there will be that thing as you do. You know, they're fighting, and that clearly breaks your concentration, and you will see that second Hat Trick, that's left merge with the first, and you just see them kind of panic because they're stunned by that, like that sort of forcible, uncontrolled reemergence certainly threw them off balance, and they will collapse there in the penalty box.
Okay.
Let's swing back to Shadow Boy. Shadow Boy, there's one villain left. Alpha's going to annoy, and you need to redeem yourself.
That's for sure. So I have to show up Alpha in a big way. What would be a cool way to do that? Is Flicker hanging around at all? Is he
got knocked down off the thing, but yeah, he's probably
cowering under a table?
10, 15 feet. He's getting back up. His powers are very, very Dazzler, but without lasers.
Yes. Well, Dazzler and Kitty Pryde was always a great combo. So maybe I can convince Flicker to help me out, and we can take down this guy together.
Okay. So you want to directly engage and convince Flicker to come with you?
Yeah.
Well, let's have you roll directly engage, and then we'll see what happens as a result of that.
Sure. Okay. Sounds good.
Go ahead and roll danger.
Okay. Come on, Flicker. Let's do this in a cool way with our 5.
Is that a 5 you got?
That's a 5.
Okay. There's 2 team left in the team pool. Anybody helping, or I'm going to move to that description.
Cricket.
All right, I've heard no one. So you will go running up to do that, and Flicker's like, yeah. And when
So one thing, you can spend it selfishly if you want to do that.
yes, but then he'll go to a 6.
Yeah.
Oh, you can only spend one selfishly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, could more than one of us spend team on the roll to add more? I thought it was one team per roll.
So it's 2 people can do it,
One time each.
but only one person can. They can only spend 1 point. So you'd have to have 2 people assist.
Okay, sure.
Okay. I think Torrent could help out by basically redirecting some of the force.
So we need a second person to contribute.
Yeah. Why? I mean, and I just finished off Hat Trick, so I can get back out of the ice, and I can do a timely flash to
Awesome.
Shadow Boy as a distraction.
For a moment, I think that I'm all alone. I think this is a bad idea.
Torrent uses the momentum effects to assist you. There's that flash. Flicker's beside you. Yeah, let's get him. This is going to end badly for him, and let's have you tell me what you want as your pick.
Oh, yes. Even with all that, it's still only a mixed result. It's time to impress. This is what this is all about. Okay.
So what about it looks impressive?
Well, this is just like this will probably later be adapted into like a Break 23 music video,
Okay.
We're seeing kind of just a cool little like I'm imagining this is like a comic panel. This is like 5 small panels sort of layered over each other where everybody kind of does their cool power.
Yeah.
But ultimately Shadow Boy is just landing with a hero punch. There's no, I can't phase in a cool way for this. This is just me coming out of the shadows behind the strobe lights with a nice solid face punch.
Awesome. Then penalty is going to spin around, try and knock you back as you gets dropped. Let's have you roll take a powerful blow.
Gotta do it. Have to experience some pain. And I will experience some because that is a 7.
That is a 7. So what do you want as your results?
Oh man.
If you give ground, Flicker is not impressed.
That's true. I can take some conditions here. I gotta suck it
Okay.
up to look cool.
Absolutely.
But I think that at least one of those will be insecure.
Okay.
And wrong person. Sorry, insecure.
I'm going to mark other people's conditions.
That'd be cool. That would be great. And then maybe feel a little afraid. Yeah. This hurts.
Perfect. So we see you do that. Like essentially, penalty is being held in Harvester's arms. He's starting to do that thing where he's going to pull out away, and you come in and clock him before he can even get the energy to yank himself free, and boom, you come down and probably do a little skid there, and Flicker's right up like I help too, with a little bit of flash there, take them out. There are still a few, the teens around the margins, right around the outside of the rink, the people who kind of were gotten to safety, and you'll hear the applause as you do that, and see Alpha kind of stop.
And I just walk over to him and I extend one of my spider arms like it's a handshake, and I say, "Thanks for your assistance, citizen. We'll take it from here."
Let's have you roll provoke.
Okay. I can do that.
Because you're a teenager.
I am. I think I'm at +1 right now for superior. So, yep.
Yep.
Oh, my dice are so hot. That's 5.
That is a 5. So you go to do that.
Yeah.
And you're actually shocked. Like he grabs onto it and he flings you.
Okay.
And you're kind of like, oh yeah, these guys don't have any powers that are worth anything, but he flings you, and he flings you away and storms off. Like you go flying. You probably, you have the legs, you can grab onto something as you fly by, but you were like, whoa. And you hear everybody go, ooh, like that, like, look at that. They got it on their phones too. The shot of you getting tossed away by this Nexus guy. But yeah, the rest of the Nexus people, they will take off. The crowd they'll be pulling. It's, of course, authorities are outside. They're getting people free, and getting kids out of there. The police will be there quickly, and they will lock up this team power play, and you guys look good. There were a few moments that didn't look quite as good, but still the publicity is gonna look pretty sharp, though you have the sense that this rivalry is not at an end. If anything, it has just gotten started. I think we could probably move to end of session. Unless there's something you want to say as an end bit here. Let's actually get a second. Let's take a moment here to see the where you go after this, and then we'll go to end of session. Sarah, you're the leader, so let me have you frame this.
All right. I think after the fight, we go to the coffee shop / dim sum place for celebration and debriefing.
Absolutely.
Our usual hangout, and
yeah, that
yeah, it's like a good job, everybody.
Been there, doom that, I think is how it's called. Yeah. You will, and you're all in civvies at that point.
Yeah, we can change to civvies. we've been known to show up to the place in our costumes as well, but.
What does your civvy outfit look like, Harvester? Muted.
I wear a like exercise pants, like those, like, just like like yoga pants, basically,
Okay.
and a baggy hoodie.
Okay.
With with like it's a baggy hoodie with like the Aeon logo on the shoulder.
So because of the arms, you look particularly frumpy with the baggy hoodie.
Like they're kind of folded along my back, and I can't lean all the way back against the booth and stuff like this and everything. And so the hoodie, it makes me look, like much bulkier just walking around than I actually am, than the whatever 3% body fat that I'm actually walking around with.
Right. Zahn, what is your kind of? They've told you need to blend in a little bit. What does that outfit look like?
With a, I think, bland jeans, t-shirt, and a hoodie. So a hoodie that's open in the front.
Okay.
Basically, that's it. Probably the colors don't match because just didn't care about it. Just grab some random clothes.
All right. Then Stephen, let's have you. How are you framing this, Stephen?
Yeah, it's just okay. Good job, everybody. Good job, everybody. We finished that quickly. One or two things went wrong, but all in all, I think the team did great.
Other reactions? You agree, Torrent?
Torrent says that I know things could have gone better. Like it looked like we started off pretty strong, but at the end it just, it was lucky we finished it off as quickly as we did, because it looked like things were starting to unravel with Nexus getting in the way. That could have been a much bigger mess, but it wasn't particularly clean.
I'm sporting this like big black eye from where Penalty kind of got in that last shot on me, and I'm like, "What are you talking about? That was awesome! I punched somebody. I've never punched anybody before."
Yeah,
like my hand is like red and throbbing.
Yeah. We should go over your punching at some point.
Well, I mean, no offense, Sarah, but I mean, I feel like you tend to kind of pull your punches. Harvester, you were kicking butt out there. It's that combo. You were like, pow, 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 pow.
So, if you can figure out how to phase fast enough that you can belt somebody, and then when they swing back at you, phase, then go solid, like you're going to be formidable.
I never thought about that.
So this is actually me. Sorry, step out from mechanics for a second. We're sharing a triumphant celebration here. So I'm telling them what they need to do to achieve their full potential. If they accept my advice, I take influence over them and add team to the pool. If they reject what I have to say, I mark a condition. So basically, to realize your full potential, you need to practice fighting and using your powers while you fight.
Do you accept that, Shadow Boy?
Yeah.
Then Torrent gains influence. Harvester gains influence over you, which they already have.
I've already got. So I'm gonna raise. What do we got? Your danger is going up by 1, and your mundane is going down by 1.
Yeah. All right. I might come in handy.
See,
And we add 2 teams to the pool, but it's probably go away before next.
Go away.
Yeah.
so I would like to, stimulated by what happened in the fight and what everybody got involved in there, I think that might stimulate one of my connecting the dots moves.
Okay.
My initial pick was Sarah as the leader. I think that was pretty straightforward and obvious.
Yeah.
So let me roll and see what comes up.
Yeah.
That's a 5. So let's see. What does the mist do for me on that one?
Well, first of all, you get to mark a potential.
Yeah.
Let's see. Da. So I get to shift. Is this the first part? Let's see. On a miss, they're not all who you thought they would be. GM will choose their role or tell you that as far as you know, they don't exist in the future. So who were you focused on there?
I think she was focused on Shadow Boy.
Okay. So I'm going to have you mark a condition since you have to do that as part of that move. And I think that Shadow Boy is the traitor.
Oh, I definitely got to mark hopeless in that case.
Dun dun dun.
Yes, already connecting the dots.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything you want to trigger move wise? Hearing none, I will go ahead and move to end of session.
I think it's not a move. That's why I didn't say anything. But I think I want to just end the scene. With everybody like talking about the mission and everything, and like eating something, still a little bit floating above my chair, and say, "Oh, by the way, you guys told me I needed to blend in more. So tomorrow I'm starting school." And cut on that.
Nice. Shadow Boy, did you think that you grew closer to the team, into your own image of yourself, or away from the team?
Oh man. I think that this was an opportunity to what's the exact wording? You said grow into the image of yourself, right?
Yeah.
Was something one of them? Yeah, I think that's probably the one that is applied here.
So what is this change for yourself? Do you get to shift labels there?
Yeah, well, I don't think I'd ever considered the possibility of being able to use my phasing in like this like sort of combat mode. So I think that my danger's going up again.
Ooh.
But as far as which label that would go down, probably Savior.
Okay. That is excellent. Torrent. Closer into your image of yourself, or away from the team since you found there was a traitor? Muted. You're muted. Take a drink.
I finished my drink already, unfortunately. So, but she is. I think she's growing away. I think she's growing away from the team because, like, she looks just sort of a little all in there at the end as everybody's going through it, and Shadow Boy is like looking all excited about what happened, and like she's just sort of like withdrawn and like has her arms crossed and looks deep in thought about something.
So you take influence away from someone. Who is it that you take influence away from?
Oh, it's going to be Shadow Boy.
Okay, Shadow Boy, please remove your influence over Torrent. Harvester. Closer, image, or away?
Definitely closer to the team. That was a good mission. That was mission accomplished.
And who made you feel welcome?
Shadow Boy. He stepped up, and we had that 1-2 thing where I was holding the penalty, and he just came right in and socked him, and that was great. Like, we are going to be an awesome team. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
So you give influence to Shadow Boy?
I think he already has influence, right?
Then Shadow Boy may
shift my labels.
shift your labels.
Well,
And a reminder that my labels include soldier. So if you wanted to shift soldier up or down, you can mess with that as well.
Let me read about soldier.
And I'm going to clear my insecure condition.
Cool.
No, you know what? I'm going to clear angry.
Well, just like how I shifted up danger and down savior, I think I would do the same to you.
Ooh, yeah, right.
Nice.
Oh, this. We might be enabling each other. This might be unhealthy.
Harvester, do you want to clear that insecure, or do you want to mark potential?
No, I had angry and insecure, so I cleared angry.
Oh, okay, went ahead and did that. All right. Zahn, closer to your own image of yourself or away from the team?
I think I'm going to go into an image of myself.
Okay. What labels do you want to shift then?
I want to get my freak back up.
Sure. I can understand why you'd want to get your freak on.
Yeah. I wasn't fighting today, so my danger is going down.
Yeah, that was good. That's a good play out of what you did there. Smart.
And there's one other thing. I think, I can remove an influence. I can still remove an influence over someone. So that someone has on me. Sorry. So I'm going to remove Sarah's influence.
Okay.
I didn't interact with anyone.
Okay.
I was in my corner, so I feel like a bit left out and uncaring again.
Okay.
So I'm down to 0 influence.
All right. Sarah, let's hear your assessment.
I grew closer to the team, and I'll pick Harvester as the one who made me feel most welcome, because she's got this military discipline going, and it just feels like, this is the kind of team I want to have.
Absolutely. So I believe that Harvester already had influence over you already.
Right. So Harvester gets to shift my labels.
Oh, let me see here. Oh, there's 5 of us, so I got to go all the way over to the left.
Yep.
Superior up, mundane down.
Okay. And Sarah, I assume you're marking potential?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that is our session. Next time we'll start out with, checking in with everybody, making sure everyone's happy with their moves and things. I'll throw a few newsy bits out, and we'll also I always like to start out, especially second session, with, mundane life, daily lives. Like we take a look and see what that is like for each of you. So that is what we're going to do. So I'm going to wrap it there, and I'm going to stop the broadcast.